now, no, I don't think he will. And I think that he's like leading this Playboy lifestyle where he's got these women in his life. Like Cassie will be back. Mark my word. Well, I thought that he was now with a 22-year-old. Or something. Maybe not a permanent girlfriend, but just snacking around.
Wendy Williams built a career out of unearthing Hollywood's darkest secrets. But when she spoke out about Diddy, it almost wrecked her supposedly blacklisted for daring to expose him. Wendy had been quiet for years till now, but with Diddy's recent arrest, she's now speaking out what bombshell facts she has been concealing and why this cost her everything. Watch this video as we unearth Wendy's journey, her feuds with some of the top names in hip-hop, and what she recently disclosed about Diddy. But to properly appreciate the weight of her revelations, we need to rewind and investigate how their paths have been interwoven over the years. Wendy's history with Diddy. Wendy's earliest disagreements with Diddy came during her tenure on the radio. Particularly on her iconic Hot 97 show, she began building her reputation as a bold, no-holds-barred personality, and Diddy became one of her frequent targets throughout her early radio career. Wendy never hesitated to speak her mind, and Diddy's name often found its way into her broadcasts. At the time, he was rapidly becoming a major figure in the music industry, especially with his label Bad Boy Records, which was home to a roster of rising stars. Wendy was always quick to respond to rumors and would call him regularly. Out on various issues, including his business dealings, personal life, and alleged scandals. One of the most notable moments in their rocky relationship came in 2005, when Wendy made a bold claim on her radio show that, according to her, Diddy had been involved in an incident where members of the girl group Total, who were signed to his Bad Boy Records label, attempted to confront her outside of the Hot 97 station. Wendy described the event years later, even indicating that Diddy could have had a role in planning the fight. On a 2019 episode of Wendy Williams built a career out of unearthing Hollywood's darkest secrets, but when she spoke out about Diddy, it almost wrecked her supposedly blacklisted for daring to expose him. Wendy had been quiet for years till now, but with Diddy's recent arrest, she's now speaking out what bombshell facts she has been concealing and why this cost her everything. Watch this video as we unearth Wendy's journey, her feuds with some of the top names in hip-hop, and what she recently disclosed about Diddy. But to properly appreciate the weight of her revelations, we need to rewind and investigate how their paths have been interwoven over the years. Wendy's history with Diddy. Wendy's earliest disagreements with Diddy came during her tenure on the radio. Particularly on her iconic Hot 97 show, she began building her reputation as a bold, no-holds-barred personality, and Diddy became one of her frequent targets throughout her early radio career. Wendy never hesitated to speak her mind, and Diddy's name often found its way into her broadcasts. At the time, he was rapidly becoming a major figure in the music industry, especially with his label Bad Boy Records, which was home to a roster of rising stars. Wendy was always quick to respond to rumors, and she would call him regularly. Out on various issues, including his business dealings, personal life, and alleged scandals. One of the most notable moments in their rocky relationship came in 2005, when Wendy made a bold claim on her radio show that, according to her, Diddy had been involved in an incident where members of the girl group Total, who were signed to his Bad Boy Records label, attempted to confront her outside of the Hot 97 station. Wendy described the event years later, even indicating that Diddy could have had a role in planning the fight on a 2019 episode of With Puffy, since it was how she knew him from their early meetings. Wendy's quips about Diddy's evolving identity were often delivered with her trademark wit, but they underscored a deeper frustration she had with the music mogul. The animosity between the two went beyond casual jabs on her show, though in her 2004 book, The Wendy Williams Experience, Wendy provided more insight into her feelings toward Diddy. She described how she had a certain level of contempt for him specifically because of what she viewed as his efforts to sabotage her career. She stated that he had made it tough for her in the business, attempting to quiet her by any means necessary. Wendy didn't hold back in the book, recalling the emotional toll that her clashes with Diddy had taken on her. She referred to the hell that he had put her through, making it clear that while she might not hate him, she certainly hadn't forgotten the struggles she endured as a result of their feud. Despite all the tension, Wendy continued to discuss Diddy's career and personal life on her program way into the 2010s. One recurrent theme was Diddy's lifestyle, and his seeming inability to settle down. Wendy constantly commented on his relationships, indicating that he was living a playboy life, juggling several women, and showing no signs of slowing down in a 2015 edition of her program. Wendy commented that she didn't think Diddy would ever genuinely settle down until much later in life. She predicted that even when he did, it wouldn't be until he reached an age between 68 and 78. She mentioned that Diddy's expensive, party-filled lifestyle had a seductive influence on the women around him, hinting that his charisma and fortune kept them in his circle, despite his refusal to commit now, with the current events surrounding Diddy's arrest. Wendy's view on their long-standing feud is more significant than ever. Their tangled past just adds to the intrigue, as Wendy has never been one to keep back her thoughts when it comes to Diddy. Diddy's legal issues. Diddy has faced various legal challenges throughout his career, many of which have captured the public's attention due to his high-profile status. One of the earliest incidents took place in 1997, when he was sued by Inab Bongo, who accused him of landlord neglect. Diddy, however, denied the allegations, and the case didn't make major headlines compared to what was to come in April 1999, just after the music video for As Hate Me Now was released. A controversial scene showing Diddy being crucified sparked a heated altercation, unhappy with how the video depicted him. Diddy and two associates walked into the office of Steve Stout's then manager. The disagreement evolved into a violent assault. Steve Stout subsequently sued Diddy for assault, resulting in a settlement of $500,000, despite initially being charged with assault. Diddy later pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of harassment and was ordered to attend a single day of anger management class. As 1999 progressed, Diddy, along with his then-girlfriend, found himself entangled in a much more serious situation on December 27th of that year. Jennifer Lopez and protege Shine were inside Club New York when gunshots erupted. Reports stated that the incident resulted from a quarrel between Diddy and another patron. The subsequent investigation resulted in Diddy's and Shine's arrests on several firearms charges. Diddy was also accused of paying his driver to assume responsibility for the handgun. The trial was widely publicized, with Diddy defended by the famed defense attorney Johnny Cochran. After a protracted process, Diddy was cleared of all counts, but Shine wasn't that lucky. He was convicted on numerous charges and handed a 10-year jail term. The fallout from this incident also reportedly led to Diddy and Jennifer Lopez ending their relationship. The aftermath of this nightclub shooting didn't just impact Diddy's love life, it also affected those who were indirectly involved. Diddy's driver, Wardell Fenderson, later filed a lawsuit claiming emotional distress from the ordeal. The matter was resolved in February 2004, with both parties agreeing to keep the settlement terms. A secret legal issue was discovered. Diddy again in February 2021 when he filed a $60 million doll lawsuit against the new owners of Sean John, the clothing brand he founded. Diddy alleged that they used his likeness and fabricated quotes without his permission. Then, in 2023, another lawsuit emerged, this time from the world of business. Diddy filed a racial discrimination case against DIO, a major player in the spirits industry. The lawsuit claimed that the company had deliberately stifled the marketing and sales of Diddy's alcohol brands Sir Vodka and Dion Tequila in favor of other brands. Yet by early 2024, Diddy dropped the lawsuit, terminating his financial involvement with the firm in tandem with these business-related lawsuits. Diddy's personal life and relationships generated even more court disputes. One of the most significant accusations came from singer Cassie Ventura, who had a decade-long relationship with Diddy in 2023. Cassie filed a lawsuit alleging that Diddy had subjected her to various forms of abuse, including trafficking and physical violence, and sexual assault. The lawsuit detailed a series of incidents that allegedly began not long after Cassie was signed to Diddy's record label at the age of 19. According to the lawsuit, Diddy's control and abuse worsened over the years, with one particularly disturbing event occurring in March 2016, when surveillance footage captured Diddy physically assaulting Cassie in a Los Angeles hotel. The lawsuit was settled just a day after it was filed, with both parties issuing statements indicating that they had resolved the matter, but did he maintain that the settlement was not an admission of guilt? Cassie's case was not the last to feature severe charges against Diddy in late 2023. Joey Dickerson Neal filed a lawsuit claiming that Diddy had drugged and assaulted her back in 1991, recording the assault without her consent. She described being coerced into having dinner with him and alleged that the incident left her incapacitated. She filed police reports but was reportedly discouraged by colleagues who feared retaliation from Diddy that same year. Another lawsuit was filed by an anonymous woman who accused Diddy and singer Aaron Hall of raping her and a friend after an event in New York in the early 1990s. Just when it seemed that Diddy's legal troubles couldn't get more severe, the accusations continued into 2024. Another woman came forward, alleging that Diddy had participated in a gang sexual crime in 2003 when she was only 17 years old. Around the same time, a former employee named Grace Omar filed a lawsuit accusing Diddy's son Christian of sexually abusing her when she worked as a steward on a boat hired by Diddy. The complaint also accused Diddy of supporting his son in covering up the event and taking responsibility for establishing the circumstances that led to the claimed attack. The most recent and arguably most damaging legal blow occurred in September 2022, when Diddy was detained in Manhattan after being indicted by a grand jury. Federal prosecutors accused him of racketeering and sex trafficking, accusing him of conducting an enormous operation that forced women into indulging in sexual acts for his delight. The indictment said that Diddy and his colleagues pushed victims into participating in acts he dubbed freakouts, which were videotaped without permission. Diddy's attorneys fought hard to secure his release, offering a $50 million bond, but the court denied bail over concerns that witnesses might be intimidated or threatened. As of now, Diddy remains in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, awaiting further legal proceedings. Despite the mounting legal challenges, Diddy's legal team remains firm in his defense. They have called the charges baseless and expressed disappointment in the decision to prosecute. And his lawyer has continued to emphasize that Diddy is an innocent man with nothing to hide. Wendy's take when it comes to sharing her unfiltered opinions. Wendy never holds back her perspective on Diddy's position, particularly after years of their convoluted relationship, which has been just as outspoken and honest as you'd expect. But what precisely does she think about his arrest, considering their past encounters and long-standing tension? Back in the late 90s, Wendy was reportedly fired from her position at Hot 97, and rumor has it that Diddy had a hand in her dismissal. This was at the height of Diddy's bad boy empire, and Wendy was one of the few voices in the media who dared to challenge him. According to insiders, Wendy allegedly had a photo of Diddy in a compromising position, and her boldness in reporting on it didn't sit well with him. The whispers about Diddy's sexuality were something Wendy didn't shy away from her radio program, which led to her being fired. At the time, Diddy had tremendous influence over the music business, especially in New York, and he supposedly utilized that authority to have her removed from the station. Wendy has hinted at this event several times over the years, never outright naming Diddy but strongly implying that his influence was the reason for her abrupt departure. In a 2013 interview, she tiptoed around the subject, saying that she had been practically burned at the stake for discussing certain topics that were now. It was evident to those who understood the context that she was discussing him and their prior difficulties. Wendy suggested that she had been penalized for only saying what many others had theorized about, but didn't have the platform or confidence to address openly. But Wendy didn't stop there. Her critique of Diddy wasn't simply restricted to the speculations surrounding his personal life. In 2015, she started publicly challenging Diddy's actions in his sexual partnerships, notably his affair with Cassie Ventura. Wendy suspected that Diddy had a domineering character, and she didn't hesitate to share her worries with her viewers. In one memorable episode of her program, Wendy presented a clear image of Diddy's purported dominating tendencies. She pictured him going to tremendous measures to keep tabs on Cassie, even going so far as to book a jet and show up unexpectedly at her hotel. Wendy's point wasn't simply to exaggerate the scenario, but to illustrate a possible imbalance of power in relationships where one partner holds significant wealth and influence. Cassie and Diddy eventually broke up in 2018. Wendy didn't mince words. She openly criticized Diddy's public attempts to win Cassie back, calling his gestures a grand gesture and expressing doubt that he truly wanted her to return instead. Wendy claimed that Diddy may have treated Cassie more like a possession than a lover. Her assessment of Diddy and Cassie's relationship spoke much about how she perceived Diddy's behavior both in his personal life and his professional dealings. Fast forward to 2017. When Diddy made an appearance on Wendy's show, marking a surprising turn in their relationship after years of tension, they seemed to have buried the hatchet during the interview. Diddy even gave Wendy props for being one of the first to shed light on hip-hop culture, acknowledging her significant role in the industry. For many viewers, this moment was a full-circle event, symbolizing a truce between two major figures who had once been at odds. Wendy, in turn, seemed to soften her stance toward Diddy, appreciating his acknowledgement of her work and his willingness to sit down for an open conversation on her platform. But even with this apparent reconciliation, Wendy's skepticism toward Diddy's actions and public persona never fully disappeared now, with Diddy's arrest making headlines. It's no surprise that Wendy would have something to say. What makes Wendy's view on predicament situations like this so intriguing is that she adds years of expertise and insight into the lives of celebrities. She's not simply speaking from the outside. She's been part of the entertainment scene for decades and has had direct experiences with many of the individuals she addresses, including Diddy. Wendy Williams' controversy with other rappers. Wendy's ability to stir up controversy knows no bounds, and her long-standing feuds with rappers also prove her penchant for digging into personal lives. One of the most infamous of these feuds is with 50 Cent. Over the years, the two have clashed numerous times, with each incident adding fire to their simmering conflict. Wendy never wanted to keep back her thoughts. She accused 50 Cent of being secretly homosexual, a charge she made on the broadcast. She also didn't shy away from criticizing him for celebrating the end of his child support payments, calling out his lack of compassion. 50 Cent, renowned for his cutting sense of humor, moved the dispute to social media, where he insulted Wendy's beauty and lifestyle. One of the most notable moments of their battle occurred when 50 released a doctored photograph of Wendy as the Beast in a mock-up of the Beauty and the Beast poster. He didn't stop there, going as far as to call her a crackhead and roasting her through various posts online. Their back and forth might have gone cold in recent years, but both Wendy and 50 have a habit of resurrecting old conflicts for a laugh. It wouldn't be surprising if either one brought up their history again in the future, as they've both demonstrated that they can't resist rehashing past grievances, but Wendy's feuds haven't. Simply being restricted to 50 Cent's Master P, the iconic rapper and businessman, found himself in a tough spot when he trusted Wendy with details about his estranged relationship with his family. In 2014, Master P confided in Wendy about his struggles, including his issues with his wife and children. At the time, he likely believed he was sharing his private life with someone who could relate to the challenges of being in the public eye. However, Wendy had other plans. Not long after their private discussion, Wendy aired Master P's personal life on her program, This Public Airing of Dirty Laundry, criticizing his family dynamics and claiming that they deserved better than having him as a patriarch. Didn't sit well with Master P, who later expressed his disappointment in Wendy. He lamented that he had considered her a friend and couldn't believe she would share such personal details with the public, especially since she herself had been through similar situations with Wendy. No topic seemed too sensitive to discuss. As evidenced by her clash with Tupac Shakur back in 1995, Wendy stirred the pot when she claimed on Live that Tupac had been sexually molested while spending time at Clinton Correctional Facility. This unfounded assertion did not go unnoticed. Tupac's marketing staff soon replied, calling Wendy out for her bogus charges. However, the rapper back off. Wendy's propensity to transcend lines with her remarks frequently forced celebrities like Smith to reply in manners they typically wouldn't. Another significant feud erupted in 2006 when Wendy crossed the line with Method Man, a rapper and member of the legendary Wong clan. The conflict began when Wendy revealed on her radio show that Method Man's wife Thomas Smith had been diagnosed with cancer. This was sensitive information that Method Man and his wife had chosen to keep private as they navigated her treatment. Wendy further said that Beyoncé couldn't sing and depended on auto-tune, which further incensed the Beehive, one of the most loyal fan bases in pop culture. Needless to say, they didn't take kindly to Wendy's harsh judgment of their idol. Another one of Wendy's more celebrity feuds took place when Omarosa appeared on The Wendy Williams Show. The tension between the two was palpable from the start, with Omarosa displaying a combative attitude. Wendy never wanted to back down from a confrontation and later admitted that she harbored animosity toward Omarosa. The bad blood between them was so intense that Wendy even skipped the White House Correspondents' Dinner in 2013 when she found out she'd be seated next to Omarosa. Yet in a surprising turn of events, Omarosa returned to Wendy's show. Later that year, leading viewers to wonder if the feud had cooled or if they were simply playing kindly for the cameras. Wendy's knack for getting under people's skin was particularly evident in her interaction with the late Whitney Houston in 2003. During a radio interview, Wendy repeatedly questioned Whitney about her alleged drug use. Whitney never wanted to mince words and swiftly shut Wendy down, telling her that if they were back in her hometown of Newark, she would have handled the matter differently. This encounter became a pivotal event in Wendy's career as a talk show presenter, displaying her ability to irritate even the most seasoned celebs. Regrettably, Wendy never had the opportunity to reconcile with Whitney, who stayed furious over the interview till her demise in 2009.